Alright guys, let's get this party started. I actually, depending on how long this video is, I might put this on both TikTok and YouTube. Unironically, it might make like a half-hour long plus TikTok, so stay tuned. Anyway, this video, it's about Joe Robe. It's in the Sunny V2 video. Apparently I'm in it, because I was pretty prominent in his downfall for multiple reasons. I'm sure there's context in here that you guys are not aware of, and I will get into it. So yeah, let's get this going. And thank you so much for the $2 from Dummy Durs. Papa Gut, can you play Five Nights at Freddy's? No, I'm too scared. I'm too afraid. Okay, let's go.
Robe made it seem like he was holier than holy.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of those male feminists. Okay, I love women. I fight for women's rights, but male feminists, something off about them. I don't know.
Christian youth pastor, he dedicated his TikTok to showing respect for women until 6 different people exposed him for his own secretly terrible history. You could see the red
I mean, at the time, it wasn't even his history, it was his current. You know?
Flags in early tweets like this one. I am a Christian, and I support LGBTQ.
Well, obviously, I mean, if you listen to the guy talk for 2.5 milliseconds, you'd know why.
And I support BLM. And I support people of other faiths. And I support a women's right to choose. The need to vocalize his own morality was
but not a man's right.
Almost strangely excessive, and his TikTok videos weren't any different.
Yeah, they were like virtue signaling. It's so funny because like when I was on TikTok originally, before I got the old ban, I'll probably talk about that a little bit, but kind of deserved it. I was also like left-leaning. I've always been left-leaning. People think I'm conservative because I like edgy jokes, you know, but I've always been left-leaning, and I managed to not constantly virtue signal about every single little thing that exists all the time, everywhere.
He wanted to punch all men who talked about how women dressed, while reminding his female followers that they had total control of their body, when he wasn't
I stand with women.
Supporting women.
Upright and erect.
It was instead minorities.
It's homophobia, racism, misogyny, you name it, all thinly veiled as a joke, and you're not fooling anybody.
Which people found suspicious long before he was exposed.
But when this dude is making almost his
well, you know what it is? It's that energy, and I think I had some of this energy, but there's just like this energy that you put out there where it's not just like, hey, here's my perspective on this topic. It's this very morally virtuous, you know, moral, oh, look at me, I'm a good guy kind of a thing. And you put this energy out there that's almost supposed to be like targeted at like, you're bad. And then almost this implication that your audience should go and attack somebody. And when you have that type of energy attached to you, and I think there was a level of that happening to me, not to his degree, but, you know, back in the crazy times of TikTok, you're going to get that back. You're gonna get it back. People are gonna hit you back with the same energy.
Entire personality about respect women, always be nice to women, respect. It gets a little overboard, to be honest.
When questioned,
you don't have to always respect women, okay? Because sometimes they like to be disrespected. You know, as long as they know that you love them, they like a little disrespect. Okay, they like to be treated, you know, like crap sometimes, but in a good way. You know, they like to be treated a little, you know, like a little objectified. As long as they know the person is objectifying them loves them.
About his motives, Joe Robe snapped pretentiously.
Just imagine being so worried about losing your male privilege that you would call anything that has to do with equality for women anti-men.
Exactly. Well, that's the problem is that, and this happens so multiple movements. The Red Pill is the perfect example of this, but there any advocation movement, whether it's for men, women, gay, trans people, conservatives, progressives, you know, any race, whatever. When the advocation goes to hate, that's when it becomes a problem. And the Red Pill is a good example of this because there are issues that men have, but the Red Pill is literally just a male victim complex that just says women are bad instead of actually tries to like uplift men in a meaningful way, right? It's like they'll have like, oh, hey guys, let's yeah, men have problems, and then they'll bring on like 40 OnlyFans girls and talk about how that's every single woman and all women are trash, right? So the same thing. Thank you for the $2 again, Dummy Durs. I'm not gonna play Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm afraid.
Believing that when all men are killed, he'd be spared because of his TikToks.
Ooh.
And when he did also occasionally support men,
now I've talked about men getting body shamed, women getting body shamed.
The objective was still the same.
I remember this guy covered up something pretty fucked up with one of his male friends did.
To make himself,
I think it's in this video, it's fucked up.
Seem like a person who did no wrong. The caption of his merch was literally "Be better."
You know, I had bought his shirt once. I think I threw it away already. I bought one of his shirts as like a joke. Before we knew he was like an absolute creep, it was like funny to, you know, mess with him a little bit. And then I was like, wow, this is actually really fucked up.
Which seemed true to him as a church office manager and youth pastor on the weekend.
Yeah, I found this.
So depending on how long you've been following me, you may or may not know that I'm actually a very religious person.
People therefore heavily respected him, even even making
Some people do. Thank you for the 18-month small guy from Nightshard. Can you play FNAF VR? No, dude, I'm too scared.
Stan accounts such as Lovely Joe Robe, while comments on his live streams read, "I have so much respect for you. You speak for another's and it makes me so happy." Any videos criticizing him were met with thousands of dislikes until people became suspicious of Joe Robe's supposed morality. In late
Well, we were always suspicious, but then when there was a couple of young people who came to me and, well, other creators, but I'm pretty sure the two big ones, myself and I Speak, and at the time I had really, I was pretty blasted from TikTok, so it was like a multiple fronts. I kind of did on my YouTube, and he did on his TikTok, and it was,
2020, a TikToker named Gemini Official.
Oh yeah, I had a very large... impact on this individual as well. Negative impact on him. Pretty bad.
Was exposed for his relationships with multiple young girls.
I want to be very clear. This is not... So this was weird, the 20 and 16. But, generally speaking, people were like, yeah, that's like kind of inappropriate. But the 16-year-old was trying to set him up, right? Because she heard about a 15-year-old when he was 19. But that's not even where, like, the issue begins. Once that stuff came out, a TikToker came forward about how he took advantage of her. I'm censoring my language. When she was drunk, it came out that he apparently got kicked out of his school for sexual battery. When he came back from his TikTok ban, he tried to talk to a 14-year-old when he was like 21. This is like nothing compared to like the real shit from this guy. So, this isn't even a toe in the water. From what the shit that came out.
Being in line with Joe Robe's content, people asked him to talk about it, although for whatever reason, Joe Robe avoided the topic.
Honestly, I think the reason that Joe Robe avoided the topic is because I talked about it. Like, I did that might sound like very like arrogant, but this guy hated me. Because and I'll tell you, one of the people that came forward that you'll find out later in this video, she was like, Joe Robe would constantly, she said the words trauma dump onto me about how much you upset him. So I think that it was because there was content overlap. He didn't want to talk about something that I was talking about. I don't think it's unreasonable considering how much I apparently negatively impacted his brain. Message Joe Robe saying, hey, this is a problem, can you speak about it? Which is bizarre that it would take you so long to talk about somebody who's grooming children.
Joe Robe,
ooh, this guy's kind of base.
Later explained on Discord that denouncing the actions was simply too obvious, although having previously
yeah, pretty sure that would, to do with me.
Claimed the goal of his TikTok was to create a safe space for young people. It seemed odd that Joe Robe didn't want to talk about it. Perhaps he was simply avoiding drama, but this wasn't the only example where Joe Robe deflected an obvious topic. He'd become friends with it.
This one was fucked up, because I have a video on my old channel, the Papa Got Archives channel, about this Calvin Brandy guy. This one was fucked up.
TikToker named the Calvin Brandel, whose videos promoted a similar sentiment to those made by Joe Robe. Well, turns out he'd been doing...
Hey, look, that's me.
Exactly
that's me right there. There's the archive channel.
What he disavowed, explaining he thought it was okay because he was TikTok famous.
I felt that with TikTok my ego was super inflated and I felt like I was invincible, I was unstoppable, I couldn't make any mistakes.
I'm pretty sure what happened, and you have to rewatch the video because it happened a while ago, so I don't remember every little thing that happened. Like, I'm very, a normal person. But I'm pretty sure it was him, he had a friend that was a girl, and Joe Robe, they were all friends, and I think that he, from what I remember, effectively assaulted that girl, the kind of assault. And Joe Robe said nothing about it, didn't unfollow him or unfriend him in any capacity. In fact, I think Joe Robe would constantly flirt with this guy, and I think he even alluded to him wanting him to make an OnlyFans. So,
despite having photos together on Instagram, Joe Robe avoided the situation.
You have no problem calling out problematic men, but it seems like the problematic man is your friend and you're a little quiet.
Eventually addressing what had happened with this iconic statement.
I'll say it again. If you groom somebody, you are disgusting. The scum of the earth.
Joe Robe,
true stuff, man. Yeah, no shit.
however, was doing exactly this himself.
This was somebody that I felt safe around.
I've seen this guy. I don't want that. Holy fuck. It's like a blast from the past on TikTok.
But I don't feel safe around him anymore because he's a groomer.
On one unassuming Wednesday, 17-year-old TikToker DilG16 uploaded the following video.
This video will be about one of the biggest hypocrites I have.
Yeah, I remember this. I don't remember if it was before or after, but he reached out to a few content creators like myself, I Speak, and then like me and I Speak kind of talked a little behind the scenes about this.
Ever met in my life. Joe Robe. John is a disgusting and terrible hypocrite who abuses his platform by using his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys. He has done this to multiple people.
Yeah, so there was a couple, because there was like a bunch of people. So basically what happened is, one, he would apparently gather a bunch of people ranging from like 13 to like 20. And he was like 28 at the time, something like that, in his late 20s, I'm pretty sure, into these group calls, and they would take like BDSM tests, which is just super creepy and weird. I told you before, he would like, that girl was 16 that I told you where she said he trauma dumped onto me. I think she was 16 at the time, about me. Like he would complain about me a lot, which that one by itself is like whatever. But then there was, I think, 2 instances where he would be very friendly with guys like this, him and one other guy who were 17, and try to meet up with them at 18 at an Airbnb. And it goes even further, because from what I remember, he was also trying to isolate them, right? Grooming isn't just you do a bad thing to a young person. There's also aspects of it like isolation, trying to disconnect them from their friends or their family, kind of generate a trust onto you that they feel is irreplaceable. He was breaking up that friend group that he did all the tests with, and trying to kind of fracture them to, from what it seemed like, isolate them so that they only really felt like they could be friends with Joe Robe, you know? And so like that is a grooming tactic.
Including me. John first followed me whenever I had about 30,000 followers and joined my live stream and asked for my Snapchat, so I gave it to him. After Snapchatting for a few weeks, he asked me if I wanted to get an Airbnb with him on my 18th birthday, which was over 3 months away.
Also, somebody sent me a picture of him. It's crazy looking. I can't tell you what it is. And they said that he received that when they were 13. So that's all I'm going to say. I was like, well, what the fuck? I haven't been able to 100% verify that, but that's pretty fucked up. Thank you so much, Ben Schmoder, for the $5. Hey, Papa. Awesome to see how big you've gotten. Dude, come on. I know I've gained a little weight, but I'm just kidding. And your channel, too. Thank you. And thank you, $10 for Muscle Pill. Damn, brother. I haven't heard from you in a while. I didn't know anyone still talked about the dork kid lover. What a throwback. Incredible. Thank you. And stop giving me money, dummy durers, to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm ignoring every time you donate money. Stop it.
Started to send me links to 1-bedroom Airbnbs, and he offered to purchase me alcohol if I went. And this is him talking about the 1-bedroom. He knew that I did not want to get the Airbnb, so he thought if he invited one of my IRL friends, I would want to go.
And again, this guy's like in his late 20s.
Oh. That's him asking when he was going to turn 18.
And while Joe Robe was at least waiting until their 18th birthday, the group chat they shared wasn't quite so clean.
During one of the Zooms with all of my TikTok friends, John thought it would be a good idea to have us all take a BDSM score test and send him our results. Keep in mind, the youngest was 15 years old.
I was 15. What did I say, 13? Sorry, I thought I was younger.
And the oldest were 19, and there were only 2 19-year-olds, and everybody else was 17 and below.
Which had happened just a
Sorry, I get that a little wrong.
month before Joe Robe's 28th birthday. DilG added one more detail before the video finished.
I found out that there are multiple people that John has groomed.
As a person named Coco then also came forward.
He started asking like different questions, like, what state do you live
It's like a blast from the past, bro.
in? And do your parents let you travel? And do you like to travel? And and he offered to buy me a room with him. He offered to buy me alcohol. This is the one quote I remember him talking to me. I may be a pastor, or I may work for God, but I'm not against kids having fun.
Okay. Jeez, is that true? That's a wild statement, brother.
I should have realized
If true, very crazy.
it right there.
I remember Joe Robe disappeared off the internet, and he told a friend, because I had that friend reach out to me too, and he's like, "Oh, I still obviously none of this is true, but I can't defend myself. Nobody will believe me anyway," or something along those lines. And he just disappeared. He just never even defended himself. So yeah, okay.
And there was another.
I can't go into specific details about what happened between me and Joro because it is quite not safe for work.
And another after that.
He'd also make promises.
I think this was the girl that told me he would trauma dump on her. I don't mean to laugh, because I don't know if it was legitimately trauma. I mean, I don't know. The guy might have been fucking bawling his goddamn eyes out. I hate Papa God so much. Gives me a little joy hearing that he was that upset by me, but you know.
Promises about getting Airbnbs and meeting up with us. He promised alcohol and hot tubs.
Joe Robe's accusers then made a Google Doc listing everything else he'd done. He tried to get blank and blank to create an OnlyFans once he turned 18, and said he'd set it up for him and subscribe, also strangely bribing the group to call him hot and lock blocking a girl who was also intoxicated out of Zoom for calling him old and refusing to call him hot.
Weird. Thank you so much again for the $2 from Ben Schmoder. Longtime watcher, soon to be enjoyer. Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Hopefully you'll enjoy it soon.
Papa Gut talked about the document in this video here, after which he'd be messaged a story worse than every other one combined. I ran a small fan account for
Damn, I don't even remember this shit.
Joe Robe on Instagram.
It's been so long.
He eventually asked for my Snapchat. He told me no one else had his Snapchat and made me promise to not give anyone it or to tell anyone what we talk about. Conversation
Definitely a good way to talk to a young person, huh? As an older person.
got really weird, and he sent me a lot of dirty pictures, 4 of which were included to prove he wasn't lying. I was also 14 at the time. He didn't even bother.
Oh, this must have been the one. I think I said 13. It must have been this one. Dude, it's been so long. Sorry if I forget some details.
To ask how
I'm not Sony V2, okay?
old I was, or for any form of identification, but he would call me a baby a lot and would try and force me to call him daddy.
Damn.
To make matters worse,
The way he said daddy was so weird.
John's church profile explained, outside of his work at St. John, he is a private music teacher with over a dozen students.
Yep, somebody, I don't know who it was, called at school and warned them about Joe Robe, and I believe that it led to him no longer working there, so I don't remember who did that.
And up until recently, was the activities chair for the Northern Sky District of the Boy Scouts of America.
Terrible, because I'm an Eagle Scout. Unironically, I love the Boy Scouts. It was a very good formative thing for me. I was a tough kid, very behavioral. Boy Scouts set me straight, especially since I had a Vietnam veteran Scoutmaster and assistant Scoutmaster. That really set me straight. So it's terrible to see this kind of person having that kind of impact on people.
But wait until you hear why he left his previous job. Someone messaged one of the accusers, I wanted to reach out because I'm on staff at the church he used to work at. He was removed from staff over 2 years ago, and he was really upset with our church and strict protocols for working with youth, so he left to go to another church.
I forgot so much of this.
We're currently in the process of contacting the other church and places he's at as well as local authorities. Joe Robe's LinkedIn partially confirms the story's legit, as it shows he previously worked in the very same church as the lady who told the anecdote.
It's crazy because this guy just disappeared. Not a single word. Is actually wild.
Unsurprisingly, people demanded Joe Robe also lose his new job,
St. John Lutheran Church. You have some explaining to do.
with Papa Gut even calling the church directly.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
This is the church that he works at. I know this because I called the church that he works at, and I asked him if he works there. They said yes. I told them that they were very serious and credible allegations. They immediately hung up after they said, oh, thank you.
Despite hanging up the phone, the church quickly deleted Joe Robe from their website before iSpeak 1906 extracted an unofficial statement.
The pastor reached out and he wants to remain anonymous. However, the bishop is aware.
That's me, by the way.
And he has been terminated.
Do I look better now? Oof. Okay. I look better now. Sorry, I'm uncomfortable with this topic a little bit. I look better now.
And authorities have been contacted, and that's about all that we have.
But the bigger question was, how did Joe Robe himself respond? Did he make a self-aimed TikTok about his own heinous actions? Well, no. He deleted his TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, even his LinkedIn, and hasn't been heard from since. His refusal to address the 2 previous situations suddenly all made sense, while others were less surprised. The accusation can't be real.
Like I said, like I'm pretty sure with the Calvin Brandel guy, that was his friend that like he assaulted another one of the girl in their friend group, and then Joe Robe didn't do anything about it. He still was friends with him. I believe he was trying to get him to make an OnlyFans. Like, dude, it's crazy, man. It's disgusting.
A white knight influencer being secretly an awful person is unheard of. Not even surprised. It's always these types of men that end up being predators, but no one was less surprised than one of Joe Robe's former friends. As someone who personally knows John Bell and lived with him at university for a year, I can assure you that he's not the good guy here.
Well, typical pastor, am I right, guys? A typical youth pastor. Typical pastor, let's be real.
That these accusations line up with his past behavior. The dude was all-knowing, manipulative, homophobic, and tried to give off this ultra-pious Christian facade.
What? Ultra pious. I was like, is that a new word I'm learning? Yeah, ultra pious. Okay.
Nothing about his online presence was genuine. Karma is taking a toll.
Yeah, the Calvin guy, when he was leaving, he's like, hey, I just promised that my friend I would advertised this brand of shoe or something. It was fucking weird.
On him, and I'm glad he's getting thrown.
Hey, somebody do a video on Eric Bizink, the guy. He changed his name on TikTok to something else. He was in, 16-year-old girls' DMs asking them if they if their feet stink and their butt smells. It was weird as hell. So somebody get on that. Somebody get on that video, okay?
Off the internet. Before any of this happened, vegan teacher had stated,
John Robert Bell, you're going straight to hell.
And it
I guess she was right about that one.
turns out her song hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, like I said though,
Yes,
good video,
what's up?
good video. But like this Eric Bizink guy, he's another guy. He's another guy. He's another weirdo. He got away with it though. He just changed his name. I don't know what his new name is on TikTok, but that guy's a creep too. So.